What is going on, my friends, and welcome back to another video here on the channel. Well, I want to give you a quick update on Solana, as we are seeing a couple things playing out really well, and I think that it's important to take note of. And so with that in mind, let's not waste any more time at all, and let's get straight into the video. So looking at Solana here, what we can see is that from a price perspective, it has not done too much since our last update, but that's not really the focus of today's video. What I want to start off with is the fact that what we talked about this morning in the whales video is that we are now seeing the whales, the lizard people who control the markets, they are now picking back up on Solana here. What we can see here is that we just saw a beautiful week of inflows, $5.9 million worth of inflows, going absolutely crazy, especially when you put that in comparison to like something like Ethereum that had $14.4 million worth of outflows. Something like Binance had almost $500,000 worth of outflows. Litecoin barely positive, XRP decent, Polkadot decent, others decent. Nothing really going on. Solana 5-10x better than all of the rest in terms of lizard people, whale inflows. Now, this alone I think is incredibly important. And the reason why I think this is incredibly important is because if you don't know, this is a representation of what the most intelligent, quote unquote, investors in the space are doing. And whenever we saw everything going on, whenever we saw obviously what happened up here, when Solana got congested, then it started to go down, then everything bad started to, people started saying that Solana was dead, Solana's a scam, blah, 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 blah. We saw all that stuff going on. I didn't get concerned. Concerned isn't the right word. I got more curious, like, okay, what's going to happen? Are some of the bigger institutional players, some of the smart money, are they going to start like abandoning Solana, especially now that its price is this high? Because the concern there is like, okay, well, Solana's already kind of made the move. I mean, it's up 10, 15, 20x depending on where you bought it at. And so because of that, it's just like, are they willing to take a risk here? Are they willing to be buying Solana now that it is this high, especially with all this stuff going on and the congestion and blah, blah, blah. But then what we can see here is that it's not really made a big difference. Like Visa, the news that we got from Visa. Then we saw that Pantera Capital went and bought even more Solana from the FTX estate. And now we see the lizard people going in and buying some Solana on the open market for more and accumulating, right? And picking up 5.9 million worth in, 1 week, whenever something like Ethereum is going down 14 million. Like, that to me is incredibly important. That to me just goes to show like, oh, this is actually turning out really well. And what we saw back here really isn't that big of a deal. Yes, no one really liked it and it pissed me off to not be able to get my Solana out for a couple days, right? Or maybe like a week or so, roughly. But at the end of the day, it doesn't really seem like it was that big of a deal, and people aren't really all too mad about it, especially the institutional players. And so at this given point, things are looking on the up and up. And now as a result of that, I think it's the reason why we're still seeing Solana's ecosystem doing so well. And I wanted you to look at that, and I really wanted to focus on that today because I know it is a shorter update, but I like to keep you updated on everything. Look how well Solana's ecosystem is doing. The way that I look at Solana's ecosystem is by checking out something called DeFi Llama. Now, DeFi Llama shows you Solana's TVL, which is its total value locked. And this is the amount of value that's locked within Solana's ecosystem. Let's just go ahead and get that fixed. There we go. And what we can see is that back in 2021, for example, we saw the TVL get all the way up to around $10 billion. And currently speaking, we're already at $4.14 billion while we are about halfway to an all-time high, which does make sense. But the thing about it is, I think that, if any of you were around back in 2021, the ecosystem was so shitty back here. This was nothing. Like, this wasn't good at all. And the fact that it got this high is crazy. And so, I think this thing's going to $100 billion at some point. I don't see a reason as to why it can't. And what you can see is that although Solana's price itself hasn't recovered back up to these levels, right? You can see we are still pretty low, right? We're not even halfway there yet. You can see that Solana's ecosystem, the TVL, has recovered over half the way, and it is maintaining pace and keeping up and doing well. And we're not seeing a lot of liquidity leaving the ecosystem in these moments in which we saw all those scares and congestion and all that other bullshit. And so right now, whenever we're seeing the whale still inflowing, whenever we're seeing the price stabilizing, the ecosystem is remaining stable as well. And that's a sign of longevity, and that's a sign that where we are going with this is still upwards and that we're not at the end of this cycle for Solana yet, right? Because I know some people have said, well, this is the pump for Solana and Solana's just going to die off for the rest of the cycle while liquidity funnels to other places. And I don't agree with them. I still think that we're on track to head higher. I still think we're on track for possibly up to $674. And so because of that, I think that this is very good. And so we got whales buying, we got the lizard people buying, we got the ecosystem holding up quite well. We got the news obviously coming out recently about Visa. Everything's looking good. Everything's feeling good. And so with that in mind, I just wanted to give you a quick health update on Solana, letting letting you know that things are looking good, volume's looking good, it's still making money, revenue's obviously looking good. We can see the fees in the last 24 hours, 1.17 million, revenue sitting at $584,000, 315 total raised, stablecoin market cap a healthy 3.13 billion, with a lot of that also include, a lot of that being the TVL, but on top of that, you are still seeing over $1 billion in other assets, right? Things are looking healthy, things are feeling good, things seem well. And so because of that, I just wanted to give you a quick update, let you know what I'm thinking, let you know what I'm feeling. So of course, tune in today, guys. I have a couple videos dropping for you. I got obviously the Wells video that dropped earlier talking about what they're doing and what I'm doing. I had the Solana video that you're obviously watching now, and then I'm going to drop another one tonight, maybe two more, like Jasmine Render, H-Bar, something like that. Okay, so tune in for those. Can't wait to see you all in the next one, and have a good day, guys. Peace out, everybody.